Sorry about that. So a few of the things, just real quickly, we talked about the invoicing in the unlimited training plan. We support custom domains on for your site, so you could have training.yourcompany.com if you'd like, rather than yourcompany.mindflash.com. That's available on the Pro plan. We have API and single sign-on available. We integrate with Okta if you're an Okta user. This would allow single sign-on from Salesforce, so people could click a button in your Salesforce account and go straight into Mindflash. We support SAML, so for single sign-on. These are all options that are available on our Pro tier. Again, if you have any questions on this, we'd certainly be happy to talk to you about that. There is a help document in our help center, but if you have specifics or would you like us to talk to someone on your team that knows more about this, we would be happy to go through that with you. Something we recently released in the last month or so is restricted public registration. This allows for people to sign themselves up for courses, but only if they're already, only if they already have an account in Mindflash. So you would upload a list of trainees, for example, and then they could go in and sign themselves up for other courses. That actually plays really well with a feature that we're going to talk about today, which is our course catalog. So people can go and browse courses. This is a great way of allowing people to take courses, but not restricting, restricting to people that just you already know. So if you have proprietary information that's okay for your company, but not great for the public to see, then this would be how you would tackle that. New course player. So on the trainee side, we are in the process of rolling out a new course player. You've probably seen our new course dashboard on the trainee side. The next step of that is a new course player, which we are in beta right now and working through some final details on. What this allows us to do and sort of the specifics behind it are, this is actually an HTML course player rather than a Flash course player. That will allow for people to view it on multiple devices, not just Flash-enabled devices. So that's been a limitation for us in the past. If you had a mobile device, like an Android device, tablet that didn't support Flash, or a phone even, it wasn't possible to view Mindflash courses. That's no longer going to be the case, and we will be able to support those various devices, so we'll be very mobile friendly in the near future here. We still have a specific iPad app, which we would encourage iPad users to use. It's a great experience, and we spend a lot of time on that. But we will also allow it so that pretty much any device will work. Kindle, another device that would work. And that's continuing to roll out. It'll probably be in the next month or so when we switch everyone over to it. But so far, everything's going great, and we're pretty encouraged about that. So the next item we're going to talk about here is Focus Assist. This is something that Terrence has been working diligently on, and I will flip it over to him real quickly here, and he will show his screen and show how it works.
Thanks, Jason. Let me show my screen here. I want to make sure that this is working here. Great. All right. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Focus Assist. We launched Focus Assist in beta back in August earlier this year, and that was originally only available on the iPad. So in the last couple months, we've been working on this a little bit more, and I'm proud to announce that it's going to be available on a laptop or desktop computer that has a webcam. So for those of you who are not familiar with Focus Assist, I wanted to answer a couple of questions here. Let me switch over to the presentation. Make sure people can see this. One of the first things that we want to answer here is I want trainees to be able to take courses with Focus Assist on desktop and laptop. Like I said, it's now available on desktops and laptops. I want to ensure that the trainees are taking my courses are engaged. The course, basically the way this one works, the course will stop if a trainee becomes less engaged into the course, like they look away, and I can show you that in the demo, which I will do pretty shortly. I don't want trainees to skip past videos and narration, so this is pretty important. I think it's a great feature of Focus Assist. If you have courses that are very safety-oriented and maybe something to do with some kind of regulation where it's very critical to pay attention, and you really need them to pay lots of attention to the presentation or the video that's in the course. This focus assist will disallow them to continue if they are not paying attention. And the final item is to be able to have a more accurate duration report of the course. So this ties in very well with bullet point number 3 there. If they are not paying attention, we will stop the duration tracking on the course itself. So you know that during the duration of the course, let's say they spent 45 minutes on the course, they are paying attention the entire time and they're taking in all the relevant information you have in that course. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into the demo here and switch over to my. So here's this is our, for those who don't know, this is actually our new trainee dashboard. So I'm not going to get too much into it because this is about Focus Assist. But just like any other course that we have here on the dashboard, you can easily just kind of start it. We put a little icon here letting you know that the Focus Assist is on, is present on this. So once we start the course, you might see my face for a split second here. We throw up the little message telling that we're going to need to use your webcam. We're not going to record or stream this anywhere. This is all kind of coming in as ones and zeros, and no one's actually watching anything. But we allow it. The course is playing by itself. If I become disengaged in the course, I'm going to look away for a moment, and the course will stop, and you can see my face there. And once I bring my face back into viewing the course itself, it should start right away, just like that. So this works exactly the same way as the iPad. I'm actually going to switch over the iPad just to show you how that works. And here's the same course on the iPad. I have it facing up on the ceiling here in our office, so it's technically not going to work. But once I bring my face into the camera's view, it automatically starts. I haven't touched anything on the iPad at all. It's working. It's running through the video. I'm sorry that there's no audio on this right now, but once I look away, it will know that I'm not paying attention. It'll stop, bring my face back into view, and it starts right back up. So there's also no way for me to actually kind of fast forward too far. I've actually watched this video once already, so I can go forward and backwards, but you get the idea. So that's focus.
That's a really important point because we get a lot of inquiries of how can I ensure that people are watching my videos. Previously, if people go to a slide, they could just advance to the next slide and continue on. If you enable Focus Assist, it will enforce the need to view the entire video before they go forward. So for people that are interested in compliance or just want to make sure that people aren't breezing through content, this is a really great addition. And you can easily enable this, and folks will be required to view the content before proceeding on.
Great, thanks for that, Jason. So yeah, this is definitely a powerful tool for ensuring your trainees' attentiveness of the course itself. So let's switch over back to the presentation here. The next new feature that I want to talk about is the course catalog. So this was a very highly requested feature from all our customers and all our prospecting customers as well. This answers quite a bit of few questions, and I'm happy to say that we have made some progress on here. This is definitely a great feature to allow you to group courses into a single bucket of where your trainees can navigate and sign up for courses as that they're interested in without having the trainers to need to invite everybody. This is very difficult for situations where maybe you have 500 or 600 trainees that need to take courses, but you don't want them to go in there. You don't want to go in there as a trainer and say, I need to invite these people all one by one. But I also want them to take courses that are relevant to them that they feel that they need to take courses on. Definitely a big time saver there. For those that do customer training, you can definitely use this, throw all the courses into a bucket and send them out to your potentially your customers that need to resell your product. And the third item here is just kind of some of the security behind this one, and I will show you in the demo itself. So switch out of this presentation here, go right into the demo. And so here is the trainer dashboard here. So if you're interested in, I already have a catalog already created, so I can already kind of launch that myself. But moving backwards here real quick, to create the catalog itself, just click on the Create New button there. Instead of just series and courses like you've normally seen, we have a new one called Catalog. So I already have one created, so I can go ahead and switch over to that right now. And as you can see, it looks very similar to what a series looks like, but this is a very unenforced version of it. If pardon a little bit of an explanation there. Just like in series, and you can change the catalog title. You can talk about put it into the description of what the catalog is about, and you can easily add and remove any of the courses or series. As you can see here, there's a series that's in here for the home theater installation guide into this catalog. So if you want to add content, just click the Add Content button, select the courses that you're interested in adding to the catalog, click Add to the catalog, and it's already it's right there, the Zoom Training Solutions. You can also move and organize these any way you like, just by dragging and dropping. And also here we have some of the security I've been kind of talking about, touched a little bit about. You can select it so that you can only allow people who are existing trainees in Mindflash. So let's say you already have several hundred or whatever the number is of trainees already in your Mindflash account. You can make this catalog only available to those users. So even if somebody had the URL to the catalog, there's no way for them to actually sign up for any of the courses. But if you do things such as customer training, it's a great example. You can go ahead and click the public button, radio button here, and basically anyone with a link can register for any of these courses in the catalog. So much like in courses and series where we do allow people to have a what we will call a public course page, this is the same thing, only at the catalog level. And just to get the URL, this is how you get the URL. Copy and paste it in emails, put them on internet, anywhere you like. So I'm going to show you what it looks like from the trainee side. And it's just like this, just like a catalog that you might see in, I don't know, school or something like that. It's a list of all the courses and series that's in the catalog itself. So it gives you a nice thumbnail view, shows you the title of the course description, who the trainer is, and you can easily just say, well, I'm interested in how to use Mindflash. I can go ahead and click View the Course. You might be able to see a little more detail about the description itself. In this specific case, it's the same course I was taking for the Focus Assist course that I have turned on, and I can easily just hit Start, and it'll launch the course. This is just like a public course page. You can flip through and get a little preview of what's going on there. And that concludes the catalogs.
Great.
Can we switch it over to Jason?
All right, great. So these are some certainly some big features that we're adding this month, and things that have been very highly requested. Some of them for quite some time. They've been under development for a long time. The one that I'm showing, that I'm going through now, Advanced Trainer Permissions, is certainly something that has been highly requested. This is it's sort of the next phase of what we released a few months ago, which is different levels of permission for trainers or people with elevated permissions. So as you all know, for the most basic level, you've got trainers or people that are creating courses and managing courses, and then you've got trainees. On our Pro tier, we also offer multiple levels of access beyond trainees. So you've got a manager, you've got a trainer, and you've got an administrator. The difference between those being that a manager can only see people, they can enroll people, they can run reports, they can't change any content, and they can't change any settings on the account. A trainer can enroll people, run reports, etc., just like a manager can, but they have the additional functions of being able to create content. They can manipulate the course. They can create new courses. They can create quizzes, all the stuff that you do to create a course, change settings, they can do. And then at the very highest level as an administrator, they can do anything in the system. So they can change your logo and colors. They could, potentially change the credit card that's in there, manage billing, all that sort of stuff. So those are the different levels of access. Now, what we've done beyond that and what we're releasing next week are additional restrictions or additional permissions that you can put on those people. So the issues that we're addressing are being able to restrict who managers or trainers can see within the system. A scenario that is very common is I have managers, maybe regional managers, and I only want them to be able to see the results of their trainees that they manage, so people that they're responsible for. I don't want them to see the results of the rest of the company. So the guy who runs the Southwest region can't see the results of the people that are in the Northeast division. This feature will enable you to do that. Different departments is also a common scenario. If you don't want the person who runs sales to see the results of the person who runs marketing, that can be segmented that way. For really big programs, this becomes more of an issue, and we certainly hear this with the bigger programs that we have in the system. They use Mindflash throughout the entire organization. There are a lot of trainers in there. They're responsible for different things, and it's just easier to segment the trainees out and say, all right, Terrence has the ability to view these people, Jason does not. And then I also mentioned locations. A common scenario or a common use case for us is people with multiple locations, often retail locations or restaurant locations. They have like a store manager that's responsible for making sure that all of their employees are going through the training. They can restrict who that person can see so that they can follow up with their own trainees to make sure they go through. So what I'll do now is I will jump into a quick demonstration of how all this works, and hopefully that will hit it all home here. So what I've done, and I'll show you how this sort of works through the entire application. What I've done here is I've got two different folks that we're going to be looking at here. This first view that we can see right now is a normal administrator. So as an administrator, I can see everything in the system. I can set this up. I'm going to show you how you'd set it up. And then we'll go in as a manager and see what that means for the manager, what they would see and how they would experience it. So the first thing to know here is that the way this all works is based on group membership. So I can go in, I can create a group, and I'll go to the Manage Users screen here, and I'll show you my groups. I've got a bunch of different groups in here, and you can create as many groups as you want. People can be members of as many groups as you want. You can see here that I've got groups for customer support, I've got regions, job functions, that sort of thing. And then you can see the number of users that are in each of those groups. If I want someone to be a manager of a group, I can come in here and say that I want to restrict the group to a specific manager. So this person would be the manager of that group. That person, when they go in, can only see the members of the groups for which they have administration rights over. So you can have a person that is, just in charge of that group, and when they go in, they can see just those people. So relatively easy to do and set up. You just put all of your trainees into the group that makes sense, and then you assign the manager to that group. Terrence, for example, could be the manager of my group. What I'll show you now is on the manager's side what they see. So you can see here this is a different user. She is a manager in the system. When she logs into Mindflash, this is what she sees. She can see all the courses that are in there. She can potentially add people to courses. She can run reports, etc. But I'll show you the various areas where this restricts for her. So you can see here she's got a restricted view of the number of or the users that are in here. There was a much larger list. I'll flip back to the original account. You can see it's got a lot of users in this. It's got 18 users that are in the entire account, or at least that are in an active state. But this person, Julie, can only see 7 of them because those are the only people that exist in her group. I can, as Julie, I can add people to the system, and I'll go in and do that. I've got the custom fields that I put in here. Now, you'll notice here that it's got add to group. If I didn't want to do that, or I thought I didn't want to do that, and I hit add, I'll get an error. What it requires is that when I add people to the system, they go into at least one of the groups that I manage. So I believe I manage the sales group, so you see that's my option here. I select the sales group, I add Terrence, and he will show up in our list here. And he's now a member of this group, so I can see that person. So you can, to put it in sort of normal context or in a real-world example, if I'm the manager of a store, I hire Terrence to work for me. I need him to take courses. I can come into Mindflash, add him into the system. He's put into my group, and then I have access to him to enroll him in courses. And I'll show you how that works now. So I'm going to jump into a specific course. You'll notice that on this distribute page here, I only see people that are in my group that have been enrolled in this course. There are actually more people who have been enrolled in this course, but because I only manage this group, these are the only 2 I can see. If I want to go add more people, I can do that as well. Add existing people. I've got my list of 8 people now that I can see. I can add Terrence. I can invite him. He's now received that invitation. You'll see him show up here. And then also on the track tab, I can go in here and I can see all the people that are in the course. My reports are filtered as well. This will also filter through to our advanced reports. So our advanced reports will have that filtering. If I were to go in and look at that report, I would only see those that were in that group. You can see here I can see 4 people that have been added to this course. One of these people has actually been archived. So if I don't include archived people, you would just see the 3 people that are currently in the course, none of whom have started the course. But I could then go in as the manager of this group and export the report, follow up with my individuals, whatever it is that I need to do. So that's a quick run through of how the advanced permissions works. As I mentioned originally or in the beginning, this is a feature that's on our Pro tier. So if it's something that you're interested in doing, or if you're already on the Pro tier, this would be available to you. If you are interested in going to the Pro tier, you want to talk through, how this works, or any other features that we have on there, certainly, give me a call or Laura, one of our other sales folks, and we can work you through what that looks like and what features you could use. So that is all of the new stuff that we have to show today. I'm going to jump back into the PowerPoint here real quickly and talk about a few things that we've got coming up in the near future here. We try to include a list here that's about 3 months out for us. This is probably would take us through Q1 of 2014. But some of the bigger things, you'll obviously see a bunch of small enhancements that come, but these are some of the big projects that we're working on. As I mentioned in the beginning, we're working on getting our course player in HTML5 and optimizing that for various mobile devices. So we're working through that now. That'll probably be over the next month or so where you see that get rolled out to everyone. The ability to charge customers to take courses. This is something that we'll be adding shortly after. We will be using a third party to integrate with, and it will allow you to charge for courses. So if you want to charge your customers, you just want to offer courses out there for people to pay to sign up, this would enable you to do that. And then you see the last bullet point here. This is a very commonly requested item that we're pretty excited about, which is custom certificates, both on the course and the series level. The exact details we're still working through right now, but this would allow you to do custom background, include some custom fields, that sort of stuff. So you could really customize the certificates to be, exactly how your company wants them or with the appropriate information for your company. So something that we're pretty excited about, and we've talked to a lot of customers in doing the research on this, and we know this is very important to people that are current customers and certainly for people that are prospects as well. So there will be many other features that are released during the next 3 months, and we'll go through those each month as we do every month with our monthly webinar to review our new features. But these are sort of the high-level issues that we're working on. We've got a long backlog of stuff that we are plowing through, and there are many ideas out in the future as well. But as I mentioned in the beginning, if there is anything else that you've not heard from us or that you think would really be great, that really would expedite the process for you or make it more valuable for you, certainly let us know. We are happy to field those calls and talk through that with you. All right, so that's the formal planned part of this presentation. We always sit around at the end here and answer as many questions or all of the questions that come in from folks, and we will continue to do that. So we are going to hop into those questions right now and field as many of those as we can as possible. So we'll just take them from the top and just work through that. And if you give me just a second here to catch up with them, we will start addressing them. So the first one here, will I ever be able to customize reminder emails? I know there are 3 templates, but none customizable. This is definitely something that we're considering. There are no immediate plans to add this. You can certainly add custom text in there as it stands now. There's a box for doing that. There is a line of standard text that we include that is sort of the basic information that they need in order to take the course. We do get occasional requests for this, so it is something that we're reviewing, but we don't have immediate plans to add this to the system. But certainly it's on the table. When different teams are sharing Mindflash, will we be able to group them so all courses are not displayed for all people set up as trainers? So this is not part of the advanced permissions that we just did. When you restrict access to the system, it's restricting on a trainee level, not on a course level. At the moment, we don't have any plans to add restriction on a course level. In theory, a manager or a trainer could go in and see any course that's in the system. But again, something that's not off the table by any means. This seriously complicates the whole situation, so it's something that we're looking at and we'll certainly address as needed, but we don't have immediate plans to add this one. I missed how you enabled Focus Assist for an existing course. You want to address that?
Yeah, so Focus Assist is, we're still in beta. Still a lot of testing needs to be done. If you're interested, actually I know who this person is asking the question, but if you are interested, send an email to beta@mindflash.com, B-E-T-A. We'll be happy to turn it on for your account, and we'll give you a little bit of help of setting it up. We can set up a call just to kind of walk you through it a little bit. So we can definitely show that for you.
This is certainly available to anyone that is a current customer. So if you are interested in doing that, just let us know, and we can talk through what that would look like for you. Certainly, we can go through what the details are and how to do that. At some point, this would just be something that you can just access in your account and turn on. Will the Focus Assist be automatically added to our account, or will we have to pay separately?
That one we will still need to discuss, but we can turn it on in the beta for your account. So just same thing, same answer as the last question.
If a trainee had already taken a lap with Focus Assist and reset so they can get a better score, will they have to watch through all the videos again, or can they fast forward through them?
The answer is yes. They will need to watch it all over again. So they're not going to need to be. They'll need to reset and kind of retake the course. They surely can go in and just kind of browse through the course again. So it's a little bit of a one-way street. You would take the course, go through the course, and if you finish it, you can always go back and kind of go and take a look at it. But if they retake the course, it'll reset all their scores if you have quizzes in there, and they'll have to start from square one again, and they'll have to watch the video if you already have a video in that course.
Currently, the course catalog sorts by most recently used. I choose sort by name, but it defaults back to recently modified. How can I make the default sort to alphabetically? I believe this is a question on the home screen and what the trainer sees.
Yeah, so we know this is a bug. We've had a couple people let us know that, so I believe we have this coming up to be fixed very shortly here. So definitely a concern. It's not a great experience, but hope to have that fixed very shortly.
And that was for the home screen when someone logs in, not the course catalog that we reviewed today. So this would be a list of your courses on the home screen as a trainer. Can I create a catalog for a subset or group of users?
No, this is kind of more of this very advanced permission type of thing. The best way, I mean, I wouldn't want to give a very good workaround for this one, but basically you can set it so that maybe the course, this course catalog is only available to Mindflash users, or you can have one set that it's only for the external users. But that's as far as it will go. But it's definitely a very good request there, and I'll follow up with this gentleman who answered this question.
The other way to address this is using our single sign-on. That's something that is very frequently used to put people into specific courses or give them access to specific courses. If you have a system that they're coming through, whether it's your software or if it's your internal employees and you use Active Directory, something like that, based on who they are or even criteria that you pass to us through the single sign-on function, you can assign specific courses or series of courses to them. So that's something to consider if you have that capability. When I send out a course to my trainees, do I always have to select the option allow trainee to retake course in order for the course available for them to be available to them to review as a refresher when they log into their account, or will the course always remain on their account once they have taken the course? I want to make sure videos, handouts, etc. that are sent with a course are able to be accessed after the course. So as long as you don't have an expiration on your course for the trainees, they will be able to get into that course and see it after the fact. So during the demo, Terrence mentioned that he had already taken the course that he was demoing. That's a course that he's completed, and he's actually just going back in and viewing the content. So this is really common if you have people that are out in the field or something like that. They may go take the courses to get certified or to prove that they know it, but then when they're out in the field, they can actually go and hit, maybe even on their iPad, and say, hey, I need a quick refresh on how to do a specific task in my job. They can go back in at any point. They can go to that point in the course. They can take that or view it or watch the video, whatever you have in there, and view it again. So you don't have to enable retake. If you enable retake and someone clicks that button, it will start them from the beginning. And this kind of ties back to a previous question as well on the focus assist. If you enable retake and someone uses that option or you use it on someone, it will restart them from the beginning, and they have to take that course as it is normally from beginning to end. So I think for this particular question, your best bet is to, unless you want them to be able to take it for a better score, don't make that an option, and then they can just go back at any time and see where they were in the course. This one's specifically for Terrence. Awesome. I love the catalog. Good job, Terrence.
Thanks.
For the bucket grouping, can it be set so that one cannot go forward to the next course until the candidate has completed the course at a passing level? So this is on the series level, I think that this is asking, and the question, so basically if you restrict your navigation in a series and say that they have to finish the previous course before they go on, as it stands right now, they are allowed to go on even if they don't pass the course. They would not necessarily pass the series, assuming that they have to get all those courses, they have to pass the courses to get the series done, but they would be allowed to continue. This is something that we're looking at. We definitely have heard this question in the past, and it's something that we will probably be addressing in the future so that you can restrict them from going on. You can force them to take the course again. At the moment, it is not the case, though. Is there somewhere I can read what the various permissions are for the various roles that you just talked about, maybe in the Help Center? Yes, the Help Center. Absolutely. Please do visit the Help Center. That is a place where we have everything. We try to document as much as possible to give the details of the various options. I mentioned that we had an article in there before about our single sign-on. We have one in there about level of permission. We have basically every feature we have is documented in there. It's a great resource. I would highly recommend you get there and give that a shot, and I will even go to the extent of showing you how you get there. In the top right corner, when you log into your account, there's a help button here. If you click on that, it will take you to our Help Center. And just real quick here, all you have to do is search. It will offer you a bunch of options that tie into that. Potential answers. If you don't find an answer there, certainly you can email us and we can address that for you. But that's a great resource and certainly available at all times. If you want to just hop in there and do a quick search, you will probably find what you're looking for. Will we have employee name and email tied to a department, job, families, division so we can run specific reports as opposed to run all and the manual select employees for each department? I am not totally clear on what this is asking, but I think it ties into our grouping and how we run our reports. All of our groups for our course reports are available in there. You can filter the reports based on group membership. So if you had people that were in the sales group and you went into your report as an administrator and you wanted to restrict the report to just people in the sales group, there are a series of checkboxes on the left-hand side for every group that you have. You can check the sales group and it would just limit the report to sales. I think that covers that question, but if that doesn't, please feel free to reach out to us, help@mindflash.com, and we can address that question specifically. The question is, how many managers can you have? There are different numbers of elevated permissions or trainers / administrators on every plan. For our advanced plan, you can have a maximum of 10 administrators on that plan. All of the people have administrator access, so there's no levels of permission on the administrator. On the Pro plan, which has the restricted permissions and managers, trainers, administrators, you can have up to 20 people that have elevated permissions. How you distribute them is up to you. So potentially you could have 1 administrator and 19 managers. That would be an option, or any mix thereof. Can you provide emails and numbers for the people that can assist us on questions on these features? Absolutely. So your best option here is just to, if you email help@mindflash.com, that gets immediately routed to one of our folks and someone will reach out to you. So that's a great resource. You can go to the Help Center. There's a way to submit a ticket there, which goes into the same queue, same order, so I would encourage you to do that. We have live chat that's available, so if you want to just hit someone up and ask a quick question on the site, that's an option as well. And then the other option is we do have a customer success management program that is a group of our team members that reach out to our customers and have a discussion about what they're doing and how they can maximize the system. If you have not been contacted through that, through one of our folks, you can certainly shoot us an email, again, to help@mindflash.com, and we can hook you up with one of them. They provide a great resource for just general review of what you're doing and how you might optimize it, as well as specific questions about specific features. But yeah, a great place to start is help@mindflash.com, and we will line you up with someone. Someone will get back to you quickly. Can you use offline or as well as online if individuals learning at their own pace. I'm not totally clear on what that means. So Mindflash is only offered through a web browser, so you would have to have an internet connection in order to access a course. So that is a requirement of running Mindflash. I think that addresses that question. Sorry if I didn't, but certainly, you know, if that does not answer the question, just hit us up and we can figure out exactly how to help you out. Wow, a lot of questions today. When putting content through your system, are there interactives, reveals, animation? Yeah. So this question probably best tied to PowerPoint. So we support basically any animation you can do on a slide in PowerPoint. The animation, so you know, bullet points coming in, you know, disappearing, fading, dissolving, you know, cartwheeling, all of that stuff we support. We also support embedded audio and embedded video in a PowerPoint. So it's actually not as well known as we think or we would assume, but you can actually do a lot of great audio recording in PowerPoint. We offer that as a feature in Mindflash as well, but if you wanted to time it with your animations, for example, you can do that directly in PowerPoint and then upload the file to Mindflash, and Mindflash will play it as you see it in PowerPoint. So, you know, certainly animations, that's basics for us and something that we're very committed to supporting as much as possible. And I would encourage you to give that a shot. We have a very advanced, you know, a quick moment to tout our developers. We have a very advanced PowerPoint conversion, which you'll find to be among the best, if not the best, of anyone who does PowerPoint conversion. So, you know, feel free to create your PowerPoints as you wish and upload them to Mindflash, and they will magically work exactly as you expect. When downloading all completions report in the advanced report, it compiles the report alphabetically by first name. Your database uses last name, which is the way of the business world. Why can't we get advanced report alphabetically by last name, which is the best business case? No one alphabetized by first name.
Yeah, I can answer that. Definitely, we've definitely heard this concern. It's something that we are working on very shortly, and hoping to get this out very in the next couple of weeks. Definitely working with, as you know, if you're an advanced and pro tier user, you do get the advanced report, which is powered by Good Data. So we are currently working with Good Data on resolving that issue to make it more consistent with our app and, you know, basically the business world. So we'll get that out as quick as we can.
On our course reports, that's possible though, because it exports to Excel and they're in their own fields, right?
Yeah, on our course reports in the real-time reports, we do that. Yeah. But in our advanced reports, we have to flip the other way around, so which we will address.
Will the new course player allow for interactive PDF forms to be built into courses? The answer to this one is no. We don't have any immediate plans to add interactive PDF forms. PDFs are basically presented as static documents. You can add audio over the top of them if you'd like to in our player, or excuse me, in our Arrange tab. You can record over that or a Word document or a PowerPoint, but we won't be adding interactive PDFs at this time. Is this an app or pure browser-based? So that's a little bit of a tough question. It is an application. It runs in the browser, so I guess kind of both. We do have an app on the App Store for trainees to take courses on an iPad. So in that sense, we do have an app for trainees, but the actual administration and obviously how you would access it on a laptop or a desktop would be through a browser. Is it possible to turn off certain email notifications, such as being alerted every time a trainee logs into a course, etc.? Yes, you can absolutely do that. On the Customize tab, let me hop there real quickly just to show you. When you are in a course and you go to the Customize tab. You can see here there's a notification section, and it's got the drop-down here, off, instantly, daily, weekly. So this will not necessarily tell you when someone logs into a course. It tells you when they started a course or when they completed a course. You can turn that on and off, or you can set the interval at which you want to receive it. Whoops, sorry. So you can say that you want it to come once a month or once a week. You can set it to come daily or instantaneously. My guess is that you probably want to turn off instantaneously. Certainly if you do high volume, you'll probably want to turn that off because you'll get a lot of emails. Maybe you want a once a day update on that rather than at the moment. SCORM compliance, want to bring in third-party courses. Yeah, so this is something that's definitely on our roadmap. We're looking very closely at this. This presents a lot of problems for us. One of the tenets that Mindflash has been built on is that it works, that all courses work in every browser that we support, and they work perfectly. SCORM presents a huge problem for us because they don't necessarily work on mobile. So that is something that we're working through and figuring out how we're best going to handle that, but it is something that we're very aware of and we get a lot of requests for, and we will be addressing in the first half of next year. Stay tuned for the coming soon slide. That may make an appearance in the next couple of sessions we do here. What day should advanced permissions come out? So this will be at some point in early next week. We don't have a specific day. We're working through QA, and we will release that as soon as we possibly can. But it will be most likely early next week. Does the program run in different languages like Spanish? No, it does not. We only support English at this time. On the trainee side, we do our best to minimize the language that's in the application, largely using icons whenever possible. You can certainly put your content in any language that you want. That's not an issue. So we do have quite a few customers who do train in foreign languages. In those cases, they put all their content into the foreign language, and people tend to get through the app relatively easily. But at this point, we don't have any specific translations on the trainee side. We will be able to post interactive content such as articulate productions. This ties into the SCORM question, and I already addressed that one, so I'll leave it at that, but probably first half next year. After 1,500 trainees must be purchased in 500s. Can that be changed to 100s? Not likely. We do it in blocks of hundreds, or excuse me, of 500s. Programs of that size tend to grow rather quickly, and so that's how we do our pricing. We always look at our pricing and how we can optimize it for folks, but at this time, that's how we offer those tiers. This does lead into our unlimited option pretty quickly here. Our unlimited numbers kick in, or our pricing on unlimited is very competitive. So if you are getting into the 2,000 range, you should definitely give us a call, and we can talk about what that might look like for you. That would, of course, change how you have to manage your trainees, or at least eliminate the need to manage your trainees if you just have an unlimited amount. So certainly give us a call, and we can talk about those sorts of things. Missed the part about must-watch entire video. How do you enable? Also, can this be enabled after course is activated and sent to trainees? So this is all tied into our Focus Assist. If you email beta@mindflash.com, we can put you into our beta program for this. Being in the Focus Assist program, or at least using Focus Assist, would require them to view all of the videos. So if you're interested in that, just shoot us an email to beta@mindflash.com, and we will contact you about joining that. Wow, this might be our most questions ever. Is there no way of recording screen and audio within Mindflash? There is not a way of recording screen or audio within Mindflash. If you are interested in doing that, great tools for that are Captivate or Camtasia. Those are pieces of software that you would buy, and then you can use the content from those and put them into Mindflash. So that's really your best bet. One of the demos or the videos that Terrence showed when he was demoing Focus Assist was created using that way. It's a screencast software. You can do things like highlighting and editing on top. You can record audio, that sort of stuff. So both great pieces of software. Again, the names are Captivate and Camtasia, and you can export the content to a video format that you can then use on Mindflash. So have a look at those.
So this next question is about the Focus Assist. If it's turned on for all, what if the trainee doesn't have a webcam? So in those situations, they actually can't take the course. Because we have the box checked to say you do need to have Focus Assist on this course, which means that you need to have a webcam or an iPad with a camera, which is the iPad 2 and up. So trainees which do not have a webcam capable device, unfortunately cannot take the course. Yeah.
We don't use Mindflash right now as a system like an LMS. Yes, the system is an LMS. It's a version of an LMS. There are literally hundreds of takes on what an LMS is. But Mindflash is certainly in that category, and depending on what your needs are, could match perfectly with your organization. If you are interested in speaking to one of our sales folks, they can walk through, relatively quickly, what you're looking to do and what your requirements are, and figure out whether or not that's a match for you. We're happy to do that. If you just email sales@mindflash.com, someone will reach out to you, and we can set up a time to talk. In the Pro version, how do I archive a series? You don't actually archive series. You can take courses out of them or remove them, but it's not actually possible to archive a series. This goes for any of our tiers that have access to series, so Advanced and Pro. But they don't really have a concept of archiving a series. A series exists, and you can edit it or take it apart, but you can't necessarily archive it.
Next question is about reporting. So the reporting updates. For the real-time ones, they are essentially real-time, so all the pricing tiers that we have in Mindflash do get a real-time report. That's all in the course.
And that's the track tab on an individual course when you're in the course.
Yep. And if you are on our Advanced or Pro tiers, you do get the Advanced reports, which do update each evening, so Pacific time. So I think it's closer to be about midnight. Once you're in the reports itself, the advanced reports itself, on the upper right-hand corner, there is a timestamp there. It tells you when the last update was.
Sorry, I lost my place. If there is an expiration date set and the courses are kicked off, can I delete that so they can retake? So I'm assuming this is if someone hits their expiration, what do I do so they can retake?
Yeah, we do have the reset button on the course itself. You just kind of have to go into the track tab, and there should be a button that says reset, and you should be able to click reset, and you can just retake the course from the very beginning.
If we're documenting a previous course before reset, proof of reset or retake, is there a way to export the setting for the course prior to resetting? I am not real clear on what that question is. Do you? Yeah. But perhaps that's best addressed if you want to just hit up help@mindflash.com. We can set up a time to go through that.
Yeah.
And make sure we answer that properly. I just want to make sure that I give you the right answer rather than a guess.
There's another question about exporting of scores. We do show it more in aggregate right now, and this is partly tied into quizzes. And if you're on the Advanced and Pro plans, on their Advanced reports, we do just show it in aggregate, but we don't do it at the individual level just yet. Something for us to dig into to display that a little bit better. Some of it has a lot to do with how we handle quizzes and questions that have image and name matching and those types of things are a little bit more difficult to display in a numerical format. So I will reach out to this customer who was asking about this and kind of pick their brain a little bit about it.
Can we add a field to when we add trainees so we can have a department or division? Yeah, so this is what we call a custom field. All accounts have at least one custom field. That can be accessed on the Manage Users screen. We also, for our Pro tier, offer up to 10 custom fields. So you saw when I was enrolling people, there were a couple of custom fields in there. That's available to anyone on the Pro tier, but everyone has one custom field, so you could add a division or a department or something like that. Several times recently, when going into my account, it offers me the ability to edit a profile, but the option to edit account is not available. Yes. Okay, so this is a defect that we have, and I apologize to everyone on the call that's run into this. This has affected a lot of people. But basically, when you go into your account and you click on your name in the top right corner, typically there is a Manage Account link there, which would take you to the page where you could download your invoices. That's the defect we have right now, is it's not showing up properly. If you do the following, you will be able to access it. From the home screen, go into a course and actually edit a specific course. When you're on that course, click on your name in the top right-hand corner, and you will see Manage Account available. That's something, the fix for that will be going out with this release, so early next week, so this will not be a problem beyond that. But if you need it immediately in the next day or two, that's how you would do it. And we apologize for that problem. It's affected a lot of people, and we're rushing a fix out for that, trust me.
Yeah, the next question is about the live chat. It's a little bit of that's a little odd bug. The question is basically why it's not available. Our live chat is available between 8 a.m. Pacific time to 5 p.m. Pacific time. If it's not working during those hours, I'm not sure why it's not doing that. My suggestion is to go to mindflash.com/contact, and there should be an icon there that says Live Help. And as long as the icon appears, it will say I'm online to chat. Go ahead and click that, and it should fire it up. If you are experiencing an issue of it popping up in the product itself, definitely let us know. You can just do it the old-fashioned way and shoot us an email or give us a call. Because that's not a good thing. We want to be able to help you guys.
Yeah, and certainly there's a possibility that if all the people that are available for chat are full, it would default to that. Or if you're outside of our business hours or the hours that we offer chat, it would offer you the email option. But like Terrence said, if you do have a question, certainly our objective is to give you the option to do live chat whenever you want. But if we're not available for whatever reason, just shoot us an email, and you can let us know that it's not available, certainly if you're within business hours, but we'll get back to you on your answer as quickly as possible. Can I integrate third-party content? This ties back to the SCORM question. SCORM is a standard for allowing you to use third-party content, at least that follows the SCORM standard, so I addressed that earlier. I will say, though, that if you are buying third-party content, that is in any of the formats that we support, Word, PowerPoint, PDF, or video. That will certainly work on Mindflash, and you can just upload that to Mindflash right now. So if you can buy in that, that format, that would be great. But if you do specifically need SCORM, probably first half of next year. Is it possible to remove the on-screen player for automatic animations? The player often ruins the effect and draws attention away from the content. I believe the answer to this is no, it's not possible. I mean, when it's there, it's there. I think that it's there to give context of how people move through, but we should probably understand this a little bit better before I totally address that.
Yeah, it should, in our new player, it should start to fade away and not display. But I think it would be good for, we'll find someone to follow up with this customer to see what the concern really is. Could be a little issue, a misunderstanding there. So.
Are there any plans to enhance the information stored by Mindflash, such as date course assigned, date course completed, multiple records for a trainee rather than reset? For example, I'd like to record a record of every time they miss a deadline for an assigned course. Some of this information is available in our advanced reports. I think it would probably be good to talk to one of our folks about exactly what your requirements are. For part of this, there are not plans to do it. So, for example, the reset, seeing previous attempts at the course, we don't have immediate plans to to add that. Again, not off the table, but we're not planning on adding that in the short term. But I think it would probably be good for us to understand what your reporting requirements are, and certainly I think some of these are available currently. So you know, we could certainly point you in that direction to get you going with as many of these as possible. I'm interested in collecting written responses by trainees during the modules. Our current feature allows for this. For example, will we be able to ask surveys in the middle of the course instead of just at the end? So you've hit on a couple of things here. First of all, we do have surveys available if you need to collect open answers. They are only available at the end. They're intended to be actual, surveys of typically how do you like this course. They can be repurposed to answer specific questions or collect specific questions. There are not any plans to add open-ended questions into Mindflash. This is usually asked in the context of I want to grade an essay question or a long-form question. We don't have plans to add that. I think at this point we're pretty unlikely to add that because that significantly changes how courses are scored. Every quiz in Mindflash has a specific answer, so we can give immediate scores to people, and that's sort of one of the principles of how the system works. So I don't think we'll be adding that in the near term. Again, not completely off the board, but pretty unlikely. In terms of adding more surveys to the system, not something we're looking at doing. I haven't heard too many requests for that, but certainly, we'll note your request for that and see what we can do for that in the future. Right now, size limit is 350 megs. Any thought on increasing the size, making a training video that is 1 kilobyte but can't use in Mindflash? Yeah, so this is actually not likely to change in the immediate future. There's a couple reasons for that. One is, so the main being technical in that getting a stable internet connection to upload a file of that size is not very common. Connections drop out and then the upload drops. Uploading a file of that size would literally take hours. So having stable connections for that is more of a challenge. That's why we limit it the way we do. I just, a bit of commentary from what we've seen. Files of that size are typically very long. Shorter courses tend to work much better on Mindflash, and you'll see some data from us in the near future tying the length of courses to course completion percentages or results. We highly encourage shorter courses as much as possible. Now that said, we fully recognize that not every subject can be summed up in 10 minutes, and some courses need to be longer than others. I do think, though, that if you have files of this size that are specifically, very long, you're best off kind of breaking them into logical chunks, obviously that are smaller than 350 megs in order to get under that upload limit. But you're better off breaking them into smaller chunks because the way people tend to take courses online is they stop and start. They very rarely sit down in one sitting and just go through a course. If you have a really long file, then they have to start and stop and figure out where they were in the course and everything. So if you break it into maybe mini chapters or little sections, you're going to get much higher course completions and generally happier trainees. Can you put in the drop-down box for how often an email is received, only when a course is completed, or both? I think it's certainly not there now. My guess is that probably will not be added anytime soon. I think if you're getting too many emails, your best bet is just to flip it over to daily or weekly, and it will send you a summary, and you can just ignore the started course and just go to the completed section. But it would send you daily just one email and have a list of all the people that completed. Will Mindflash work with slides with animation? We addressed this earlier, but yes, absolutely. You can create all the animation you want in PowerPoint and give it a shot. And then what right now is our last question. Can we put pop quizzes throughout the module? Can there be a final exam and at the end have only the final exam quiz score count? Absolutely. We would definitely encourage you to do this. Whether the pop quizzes count toward their score or not, we would definitely encourage shorter quizzes in the middle of the course and then a final exam at the end if you do require a final exam. On all of the quizzes, there's a checkbox in the bottom left-hand corner as to whether or not the score is counted and what the passing score for that course is, or for that quiz is. If you just uncheck that box, they will be required to take the quiz, but they will not be required to get a specific passing score in order to complete the course. So in this case, in this scenario, what you would want to do is put the passing grade on the final quiz, uncheck the box on all of the pop quizzes, and do not put a course passing score on your course. So the passing of that course will be entirely reliant on whether or not they pass the final test or the final quiz within that course. The subtleties of our scoring and where you pass are, pretty intense. So if you have questions about this, if that wasn't clear to you or you have further questions, please hit us up. We're happy to spend 10 minutes walking through it with you to make sure you get it right and fully understanding your requirements. But we recognize there's a lot of options there, and it's a little bit confusing. So just let us know if that's not totally clear or it's not working the way you want it to. Chances are it will work how you want it to. We just have to get the settings right. All right. Wow.
50 questions.
That was a lot of questions. That was the most questions we've had in a while. So I will call it at that since we're about 10 minutes over here. As always, we will be sending out a recording of this presentation and the whole session most likely tomorrow. But thanks for joining us. We do this monthly. We always send notification by email, and also you'll see a pop-up in the application requesting that you join us. If you ever can't make it, please sign up for the webinar anyways, and we will send you the recording after the fact so you can see what's coming up. But on behalf of Terrence, thanks for joining, and we will talk to you next month. Thank you.